This story will cover from then to now and next, all about change, how to turn losers into winners. Welcome to Akyaka in beautiful Kokova Bay in southwest Turkey, home to a remarkable fishing project that links the local fishing families with the future of marine resources, so important for the future. Behind this innovative plan is Zafer who has won several international awards for his work with the local community.
Süleyman, he's one of the members of Fisheries Cooperative in Akyaka. So he already deployed his nets in the sea from the night. Right now we are going to haul them back.
First breakfast, but is it for everyone?
Wow.
The answer is yes. They meet another boat. It's calm today, but in winter it can be rough and tough. The costs are always rising. Zafer is also a proficient cameraman and has recorded a way of life that could be changing fast. The key question for these hard-working men and women is, will there always be more fish in the sea, as the old saying goes? It all depends.
Right now we are on a traditional fishing boat on a small scale in Gökova Bay. So there are approximately 100, fishing family, because fishing is kind of tradition in this part of the Turkey. So people mostly go as a family. Approximately 100 families, totally dependent on the small scale fisheries. As you see, this kind of trammel nets is so sustainable that there is no bycatch on board at all. There is no small fish, nothing. It doesn't give any damage to bottom. And area in 2006 had big problems about collapsing of very important target species like grouper, like shrimp fisheries. And then in 2008 we started thinking about why not we are creating some no fishing areas that give the spawning and nursery without any damage, and after some time spilling over will increase the fish stocks in the area. Besides that, areas no fishing zones also helps conservation of biodiversity of important species like monk seals, and also there are a lot of damage on the ecosystem. It helps for recovering the many ecosystems within time, like 5 to 10 years. And while we are doing this, there are a lot of negotiations between the community and scientists and our NGO. And at the end, we decided some very important nursery spawning areas, altogether 25 square kilometers. This is something because when we look at Mediterranean, there are only 200 square kilometers of no fishing zones. And since 2010, every single fishing community members has a kind of observation that there's something going on positive inside the no fishing zone. There's some increase in the fishing. While we are doing this, while they are sacrificing their fishing grounds, we also give them something like keeping the big scale, industrial scale fishing out of the bay, like purseaners. Because I was talking with Süleyman a few minutes ago, he was telling me about how purseaners or trawlers giving a damage to fishing grounds or entire ecosystem. And they all believe that if we restrict big scale, industrial scale fishing coming in the bay, they say that our future will be sustainable in any way, because they are giving a lot of damage to bottom and they are giving a lot of damage to fishing stocks.
The idea is to allow fish stocks to recover in no fishing zones. In fact, unless it happens, it will mean the end of the community, both human and marine. Other countries have tried it and been successful. Others have not tried it. Take bluefin tuna as a classic example of getting it wrong. They pursue shoals of smaller fish, and being one of the fastest fish in the sea, they are highly efficient predators. A really big one can be worth, would you believe, 1 million English pounds, or $1.5 million, or nearly 4 million Turkish lira. That's a tempting target for the fishing industry. In the past, in Roman times, whole communities depended on the bluefin tuna migration. In the Mediterranean town of Barbati, they now only occur on the Seine. And older fishermen today mend nets amongst the rusting anchors that were once used to secure huge traps set where the bluefin used to pass in large numbers. Not anymore. This is a ghost town, invaded by sand, a cemetery of rotting boats. The mast's a reminder of the good or bad old days. Such has been the pressure on bluefin throughout the Mediterranean that stocks could be nearing extinction. More modern fishing methods have hastened their decline, all through human greed. The risk of killing the goose that lays the golden egg. Given a chance, tuna are prolific spawners, and if allowed to, could recover. The word for that is sustainable. Man has taken his toll on sharks worldwide. Here in Spain is a small example of the 100 million killed each year for the Chinese shark fin soup trade. Overfishing is a problem. Management is essential, but often difficult to enforce on the high seas. In the end, the whole ecosystem needs help, right down to the tiny plankton, so vital to all life in the oceans of the world. From shoals of small fish to the extraordinary sunfish that feeds directly on plankton. A diet shared with the fin whale, the world's second largest after the blue whale. The marine food web spreads far and wide. Predators chase prey. Some live at the surface. Others search the sea floor for food. Jellyfish aren't fish, just a big form of drifting plankton. Others stay at home waiting for prey, like this moray eel with serious teeth. And the exotic-looking sea slug grazes slowly across the Mediterranean corals. Whilst the siphon of an octopus helps his getaway as if jet-propelled. A great variety of marine species occur in Turkey, but the question is, can they be managed by the fishing communities and the authorities, rightly concerned about the future? That's Zafer's challenge as he returns from his trip, with camera of course.
Sen de kameralara o kadar alışık bir insan oldun. Herkes çekiyor seni.
Her yere alışık olduk. Gelecek, bugün gelecek.
There's always a welcome,
Hala abi sesi hiç anlaşılacak açısına.
whatever the flavour.
Okay, this is lizard fish, but in Turkish they call it Turkish delight fish because the tiju is so soft, like a delight. So I don't know how much is the kilo. How much is the per kilo? 10 lira per kilo. It's not too bad, but it's a bottom, demersal fish. It's a big predator.
Kaçtan çıktı?
5 lira abi senden.
Benim karidesim nereye gitti?
Dur lan poşet arasın ne?
Karidesler alırım.
So good for a day's catch for her because she goes fishing alone. Kaç çocuğun var senin?
2.
She has 2 kids. So almost every day she goes out fishing. Her gün çıkıyorsun değil mi aşağı? Hı? Bugün ay karanlığına rağmen iyi mi?
Bu
Aydınlığına rağmen. Senin ağlar şey mi? Fanyalı mı normal?
This way of life is being monitored by a team from the United Nations Development Programme. Some 3,000 plants and animal species have been identified along Turkey's coastline of 8,500 kilometers. It's a lot of work for Zafer. He operates particularly around Gokova Bay, where this fisherman baiting his hooks is based.
Peki her şey günümüzdeki gibi devam ederse, insanoğlu çok kısa zaman. İnsanların doğaya müdahale etmesi genellikle felaket getiren sonuçlar doğru. Bu doğru mu? Sizce?
İnsanlar doğayı nasıl felaket getirir? Hem getirir hem de faydası olur yani.
Orta mı diyeyim?
Tabii. Yani her şekilde.
Doğayı nasıl kontrol edebileceklerini öğrenecekler diyor. Bu doğru mu sizce?
Evet.
Dalış turizmi.
Dalış turizmi tabii.
Zaten yok. Bölgenizdeki türü.
Kesinlikle etkiliyor. Ekonomik değeri mi, arkeolojik değeri mi?
Orada tabii şeyimi yapmam lazım. Ekonomik değeri de önemli yani.
Eşit
Şimdi ben
etkisi daha
kendim gibi
yüksek.
düşünmek zorundayım yani. Natürel cevap vereceksem tabii ki
Kendin gibi
ekonomi.
düşün tabii canım.
Ekonomi.
Eşit de diyebilirsin.
Hopefully this research, plus Zafer and his team, will ensure a future for both people and marine resources. Can it all be sustainable? That magic, if overused, word.
Günlük zaten iki fincan içmek.
All together fishermen.
At the end of the trip, it's time to eat. Fish, of course.
% margin. If you catch, certain amount of fish, 10% would be smaller than this. But normally, on the inspections, you shouldn't have smaller than this size.
Some species may be caught, some not.
And these species are protected species all year round. You are not allowed to catch any of the species as a bycatch.
Including a very special fisherman that we'll see next time.